All right, here we go. Vaccine chat. Hi, everybody. My name is Christopher Irizarry. I'm a candidate for Congressional District 12 here in Florida. I'm also serving as Vice President of the Pasco Democratic Public Education Caucus. I know everybody has been talking a lot about the vaccine mandate rollback that was recently announced by Governor Ron DeSantis. I was able to watch a replay of that entire press conference. Two main takeaways that I had. One, it is a textbook display on how you announce you're running for president without actually announcing that you're running for president. The second thing I took away from it was this was actually a blueprint on how supporters of the vaccine mandate can craft their narrative to push back on this thing. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about. First, with the presidential aspirations, everybody knows that Ron DeSantis wants to be president, but the tone and especially the timing of this particular conference tells me that Ron has already figured it out. It's White House or bust when his term ends in January 2027. Let's also address the follow-on plan that they had. Any aspirations that Casey DeSantis has about being governor, if you look at Casey's poll numbers, they are not good. President Trump has announced his endorsement of Congressman Byron Donalds. DeSantis have finally figured out their time in Florida is done, according to these polls. If anybody's going to make a serious run to the White House, they're going to have to co-opt as much as they can of the MAGA base. Ron DeSantis has figured out that this issue plays particularly well. In Joan C. Williams' book, Outclassed, it reads, politicians like Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin gained a lot of support from non-college grads by standing up against shutdowns of schools and the economy. This, of course, is regarding the COVID shutdowns. Non-college grads made up 60% of the votes, and the majority of them came in for Trump. During the press conference, DeSantis said, "We don't want the narrative to triumph over the data and facts." And you know what? I agree. And that's where the legislators who are going to be taking up this fight need to start. They need to start with the data, and they need to start with the facts. But that doesn't mean we have to ignore the narrative in order to do so. Also, from Williams' book, in the very next sentence, this is speaking of a study in July 2021, when Democrats focus their COVID messaging solely on healthcare without talking about the economy, it exposes them to GOP attacks. There you have it. Defenders of a vaccine mandate need to remember that they can walk and chew gum at the same time. So, how do we do this? Well, when I was in the military, we had a saying, mission first, safety always. You always wanted to train the way you fight, but you also didn't want people getting injured or you didn't want equipment damage. Mission first, safety always. It kept the very important aspects of safety at the forefront. That's what people who are going to be taking up this fight against any vaccine rollback need to do. They need to make sure that you institute the economics in your justification. Healthcare first, economic impact always. Defenders of the mandates shouldn't allow Republicans to corner the market as far as a discussion about the economic issues that have always surrounded anything that had to do with a vaccine mandate in schools. Defenders of the mandate will also need to make sure that when they are presenting their justification, they are acknowledging first that there were mistakes during the COVID rollout and COVID lockdowns. There were some things that we could have done on both sides. One of the things that they also need to do, legislators, make sure to stress that there are lessons learned from not only the COVID lockdown, but also the Texas measles outbreak of this year, which, interestingly enough, was not mentioned during this press conference at all. No mention of Texas. Everything was about individual choice and manifest destiny, everything except Texas and the outbreak and what was done there and how we can improve this. No, this is where we could take the initiative. Let's not get caught flat-footed. We have to frame our argument our way. Thank you.